A drop in the number of girls participating in recreation activities causes concern. Barnstable may soon have a dog park, and we talk with Police Chief Paul McDonald on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, October 6th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. A special place for dogs to run and play in Barnstable may soon be a reality. A conceptual dog park design plan created with help from the Committee for Barnstable Dog Parks has been submitted to the Stanton Foundation. The town has set aside land near Hathaway's Pond for the park. The Stanton Foundation provides grants to support the creation of enclosed dog parks in cities and towns in Massachusetts. Grants typically cover up to 100% of design costs and 90% of the cost of construction. A decline in the number of girls participating in recreation activities is causing a concern. Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado told the Recreation Commission it's something she wants to look into during its meeting this week.
I do have some concerns about girls participating in activities, physical activities. I'm worried the numbers across the board in girls' activities are not as high. You know, usually we pack volleyball. Usually, you know, we're fairly full in field hockey. I'm just worried that the numbers are not as high as the numbers that are in the school. The boys' programs seem to be filling up, so the activity there is increased. But I'm curious and concerned about the activity in the town of Barnstable for young girls. We've seen it in softball. We ended up with no softball program. Lacrosse wasn't that crowded, so what are the girls participating in to be physically active? No, soccer, I mean, we have a lot of girls in our soccer program. We have 120 in our soccer program, but it's still not, it doesn't reflect the number of girls in our school system.
The
and in our
demographics
town.
for girl population versus boy population is more towards girls, so there's more girls.
Yeah, well, the numbers aren't showing that in our programs, and I guess that's where my concern is physically. You know, for our girls to be physically active in the town of Barnstable, I just look at it as across the board. Where are our girls and what are they doing to stay physically fit? I mean, we've lowered our standards.
How do we go to the schools and ask?
Well, maybe that's a way to start. I just look at the numbers and it just doesn't reflect properly.
At least maybe we can get the demographics from each school or something.
I have the demographics. They really haven't. I mean, I don't know girls versus boys, but the numbers across the board are pretty consistent.
Maybe a survey with the girls or something?
Yeah,
or
maybe
send it
find
to the
out.
School or
It's real concerning to me to see those numbers and what activity. I know physical education is not as stringent as it used to be. The requirements have gone down. But to see our girls level, you know, dropping off is not a good thing physically, for our girls to stay physically fit.
Recreation Commission Chair Kevin Turner agreed to invite members of the school committee, local principals, and physical education teachers to their next meeting to further the conversation. The Recreation Commission will meet again November 2nd. Now we share with you our weekly conversation with Police Chief Paul McDonald.
So, Chief, a couple of things to talk about today. Last week heard news of a kind of an early morning warrant sweep, a roundup done in conjunction with the state police and Yarmouth as well. Tell me a little bit about that sweep.
Well, it's just been in the planning stage for a couple of weeks. We met with the Mass State Police about 3 weeks ago with the FVAS unit, the Violent Fugitive Apprehension Section of the Mass State Police, and they came down with approximately 25 warrants. And the warrants were pretty much evenly distributed between Barnstable, Dennis, and Yarmouth. The meeting was held here on logistics on how we're going to do this, how many individuals we're going to need to effect the arrest. We met last Thursday, and there was 3 arrest teams that went out, one for Barnstable, one for Dennis, and one for Yarmouth. Barnstable PD, along with the Mass State Police, we ended up arresting 8 individuals. We had targeted, I think, 12. Of the 12, we arrested 8. Dennis and Yarmouth, they arrested 6. So all told, we arrested 14 out of a possible. I think there was a total of 24 we were looking for. So that was a pretty good outcome. And the arrests range from OUI to assault battery with a dangerous weapon to domestic abuse. these individuals that the Mass State Police been looking for a while. So it was a good day.
Absolutely. And, when these are, what's the benefit, Chief, of doing something like this kind of all at once, doing it kind of an early morning roundup, a sweep, if you will?
Well, we have a warrant team within our department ourselves, and we run the warrant list every single day. But we run the warrants that come out of a Barnstable District Court. The Mass State Police, they have access to other warrant systems. So they come down, they know these individuals were in our town. But when we run the warrant list, these individuals will not come up on our warrant list because we're running pretty much exclusive from Barnstable. These individuals were all in the town of Barnstable, but the warrants were issued all out of different courts across the Commonwealth. That's why the Mass State Police were involved in it, and that's why they come down. And we do this probably 3 or 4 times in the course of a year.
Great. Chief, anything else about that particular sweep that you think it would be important for people to know?
No, it went pretty well. Everybody should know that we do it 3 or 4 times. So if you have a warrant for your arrest, please turn yourself into Barnstable District Court.
Absolutely. Chief, let's talk a little bit about promotions. I understand that there are 3 members of the staff that are in line for promotion.
Right. We've had, as you know, we hired 2 deputy chiefs last May. Both deputy chiefs were hired from the lieutenant ranks. We had another lieutenant retired over the summer. So we currently have 3 openings for 3 lieutenants. And the lieutenant position in the Barnstable Police Department, they run shifts or divisions. So right now we have 2 openings for 2 line lieutenants, which will take over the shifts, and we have 1 opening for the executive services division. We started the process. We're a civil service police department, so the test was given. It is a written test, and because we have 3 openings, we look at the top 5 marks that come down. We started the process. We have the oral board scheduled for this Thursday. 3 police chiefs from off Cape will come down and do the oral board process for all of the lieutenant prospects. Then after that, they will meet with the police administration. Then after that, they will meet with the town manager and the assistant town manager. After that, we will give our recommendations. And of course, the town manager, he is the appointing authority for all police officers within the town. So hopefully we'll have these lieutenants on board sometime within the next 3 or 4 weeks, which will make a big difference to us.
Absolutely. And will you kind of hold a promotion ceremony as you've done in the past over at the police headquarters?
We will have the process over here. We'll do it some morning around 10 o'clock in the morning. As soon as we get the okay from civil service, the effective date will take place, and then we'll invite everybody to come over. Yeah, so it's a big day. Once you reach the rank of lieutenant, it's a command level position within our organization. So it's they're excited, and I know there's 5 very nervous individuals out there.
Indeed. Chief, looking back over the past week, as you mentioned before we got on the air, kind of a quiet week in terms of police action, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's a very good thing. It's been very, very busy. We had a murder 2 weeks ago. Last week was kind of refreshing, gives us a chance to catch our breath. Detective Division is still out straight working on the murder. They've made some great headway. And we do expect to make an arrest shortly. But it's been refreshing.
Indeed, and that was the body of the young woman that was found at the rest area along Route 6, correct?
Correct, between exit 6 and exit 7.
Well, good news that you were hoping to make an arrest soon. I know that that's certainly, we don't like to hear about murders here in our town, so lots of hard work there from the police department for sure. And in terms of kind of looking at those homeless issues, obviously, Chief, last week we talked about the closure of the needle exchange,
yes.
And I know that work is being done to think about relocating the shelter. When we look at those issues, is everything kind of status quo? Have we seen any improvements in the past few weeks?
No, there's a big meeting this morning at 8:30. Regarding the steering committee for the Transition Living Center of Cape Cod. There's a big meeting this morning at 8:30. I'm sorry, the executive committee meets at 8:30. The steering committee meets at 9:30. So this is a significant meeting. Everyone from the social services, the housing service agencies, the churches, from the town, from the county, from the state, hopefully representatives will be there. And I believe they're going to make the introduction of the project manager today, someone who's going to be full-time job is to find a venue for this shelter and start the process to purchase some property and move that shelter. So it's still moving forward. So we don't want to lose that momentum that we have.
We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with President and CEO of the Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce, Wendy Northcross. We'll learn more about ticks with entomologist Larry Dapsis. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.